Oh, yeah, I remembered something else I wanted to talk about. I was thinking about this yesterday, and I can't remember what it was. It drives me so crazy. I wish I say it all the time, but it's just so frustrating. I don't know why I even try anymore to remember anything, but there's like yesterday I kept having like, and I've said this before, like you go into some sort of meditation and you can be talking and you're getting all this information, you're having these conversations, you just are like, oh, light bulbs just going on. And then you come out like, oh, I got to remember this, I got to write this down. You come out of it and it's like, what the fuck were we just talking about? Like, and I don't know if other people can come out of meditation, out of that state and remember all the things, but I can't. It's like a same thing as like a dream kind of. And I've always been like a really super vivid dreamer, and lately it was like I can't even remember my dreams. For a while, it seemed like I was going to a class or something. It didn't even seem like I was dreaming. I was going and I was like in this room and they were showing me all this stuff all the time at night. And now lately, it's just like, I don't know. But when I go into meditation, and which is, I can just be quiet for a few minutes and just go into it. That's what gets me spooked when I'm driving too, is like I'll be driving, I'm like, okay, you gotta stay focused, you gotta stay focused, you gotta stay focused. Because I swear to God, I can shut my eyes for a second and blink and all of a sudden I'm in another world. And but so much of the time I'm always asking, like I'm always a student, let's say, to the other side, which, it has something to do with the student and the teacher, because I'm always asking things and then I'll talk about things if I can remember them. But that's the thing, is I can't remember everything. It drives me crazy. And just so much stuff that I think about, like that I want to talk about, and then I totally forget. But yesterday there was something happened, and it was making me think, how many people that they act a certain way to other people, like, say like they're just kind of a dick to everybody, but really their whole thing is that they are reacting the way they think people perceive them. So if they think everybody are just assholes, or nobody likes them anyways, they're just a jerk or whatever, because there's people that can feel that way with no apparent reason, just because, we've been taught so much to just not like yourself. That's a big thing. Don't like yourself. Don't like your gender, don't like your looks, don't like anything about yourself, because you're just a garbage person who's destroying the planet. And I don't know, just hurry up and get your God saves me message in real quick before you die, because they're out to kill you. That's their way, not what I think. But so you have people, and that they are thinking that nobody likes them, so that is how they react to other people. So it kind of feeds that story to them, because they still get reactions back from other people that are like, God, that guy's a dick. But they don't realize it's because they feel that way about themselves, because they're listening to inner dialogue and not, stopping the record and turning it off. And, yeah, I had heard a counselor say this before. It's like a record playing in your head, and you have to stop it. You have to notice that it's stuck. It's stuck on a skip, and then you have to, you yourself has to change the record. Or I had heard a doctor say before, because when I was in my super depressed state, I was really suicidal. I can't even remember what I was so stuck on, but I was stuck. I went in to see one of the doctors one of the days, and this doctor wasn't about medicine, I don't think. I can't really remember. But I just remember him saying, you have to, he didn't say a record. His was a doorknob. You have to turn the doorknob and go through a different room or something. You have to change what you're looking at. You have to change it yourself. You can't, it's not going to change by itself. And so they both had said it in two different ways, and I thought it was interesting because it's very true. If you don't change the dialogue in your head, it will keep going on a broken record. And if it is a very self-defeating, you're garbage, a lot of people had parents who were young, struggling, just trying to survive themselves and weren't the most softest, nicest people, lashed out all the time, told their kids they're idiots, told their kids they're stupid, told them they never amount to anything. You're just, quit bothering me. And so there's a lot of people who have grown up feeling really shitty about themselves and feeling really empty and don't know, and it's their perception of self is what they express. So you put out what you expect people to. You've got to confirm your messages of self. So if you have these self-defeating ideas of yourself, do try and think of, like, when you get these thoughts, it's like repetitive thoughts. It's called ruminating. When you get these thoughts that are just repetitive, going over and over and over, you got to turn them off. And it's hard, especially if you're in any kind of depressed state. Like when he was telling me that, I was like, oh, yeah, it's real easy for you to say. Yeah. It's not that easy when you're depressed to turn those thoughts off. They don't shut the fuck up. But that's why I was saying, it's from my own experiences. I was thinking about this the other day. I had wrote it down, was, who can tell you about faith is somebody who had to go through some stuff and get faith. And that is what, I'm talking about. I did have to go through some stuff. I did have to find my own way out of the hole. I did have to bring myself up. And yesterday my daughter was talking about something, and I think I've said it a bunch of times. I think that we're all born into problems, to things that we have to overcome. We all, as a human being, end up in some kind of hole that we have to pull ourselves out of. We all have things we have to get over. We all have to figure that out. And it's so we can build resilience in ourselves. We can expand our consciousness. We can grow as a being. So all those things aren't because the world is out to get you. They're you putting these things inside your own life because you designed your life. You designed your parent. You chose everything. You chose this path that you're on, even though it feels like the world can be out to get you. Your soul chose that. Your soul chose your parents, even though there's people who like, I would never pick those people. Well, your soul would, because there was lessons. Even if you can't see the lessons right now, even if you're blocking your own lessons right now, there were lessons you were going to learn with these people, or you were going to be teaching these people. There's a reason why we're together with everybody we're together with. And, it's about planting seeds for one another a lot of times. It's not just, you don't have to go and change somebody. You do this, and, then you'll be a good person. It's not about that. It's about, it's just kind of getting a better look at yourself, but that doesn't mean you need to change anything. It's you getting to look at yourself. And my daughter was talking about something yesterday, and I've talked about this a bunch of times, but I said, the people who are super brainwashed are still having their awakening. They're still awakening to different things. Just because they haven't awoken to the controllers, they're still awakening to a lot of stuff. But she was talking about, even when you do stupid stuff, you have to learn how to forgive yourself and love yourself, even though you think you're stupid. That is huge. That is so true. And that was something that I really had to do. So when I was super depressed and I was going to the doctor and I was on medication, at the time, this was back when they had me on 18 pills. I was super, super sick. The world had just, pushed me off the ride of life, in my own life, my own cycles, my own bullshit that I had formed of my own defeating cycles of my own life. When I got pushed off and had to reevaluate my whole life, my whole being, it was a process. And it may go a lot faster for a lot of people during all this. I don't know. When my stuff was going on, I still thought life was what it was. I was just a broken thing. Now I don't see life like that at all. it's all been done on purpose to break us, to make us feel hopeless and helpless. And it's you who have to save yourself. And, and the depressing is that, turn off those self-defeating messages, even if it's, your mom in your head constantly telling you over and over and over, you should have done this, you should have done that, blah, 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 blah. You got to turn it off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyone else's opinions of you. That is their perception of their own stuff, their own goals, their own everything in life. You don't have to see yourself through someone else's eyes, especially someone who doesn't see your beauty, your gifts, everything that's wonderful about you, because they're so stuck on looking at themselves in a way that is very self-defeating. So of course they're looking at everybody else. I mean, when I was caught up in the thing, my kids, I'm sure when I was that type A person before my brain injury, and I was very, workaholic and spendaholic, and everything had to be perfect. My house had to be perfect. I had to have this, and oh my gosh, I'm sure I was fucking annoying as shit. And I did see my kids as more of an extension of how people looked at me. So I did put pressure on my kids, you better be perfect too. I'm trying, you better, and it is embarrassing. But that is all in the matrix. Once you break free from that, you see life very, very different. You start understanding things very, very different. And as you are waking up to that, it feels very unsettling, like, what the fuck is going on? This is very weird. Especially when, for me, it was way before people were waking up. And you start saying things to them, and I was like, okay, crazy person, I don't know what you're talking about. Especially, I just remember so much when I was like, oh my God, you guys, have you noticed the sky? Have you noticed the sun and the moon? Like, things are not right. Things look different, and nobody could see it. Now people are seeing things much differently, but at the time when I was waking up, it was a very lonely place. So, anyways, just if you're catching yourself being a dick or being hard on yourself or anything like that, just step back, and just remember too, this is another thing that I found that is very good way to live. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything. We're all trained. It's so weird because so many people are so uncomfortable in silence. It's like they feel like, well, you have to say something. No, you don't. People can say things to you. You don't have to say anything. If you feel like, oh, I'm going to say something that's going to be dickish, which I think I say things that are dickish to people, But you just have to, step back and be like, do I really need to say that? Okay, if I said that, would I offend this person? Would I offend that person? Just think it through, because it is a reflection of you. When you decide who you are, it's a reflection of who you are. Right now, you're reflecting the indoctrination. So, you may be thinking you're a dick, but you're not really a dick. So you just have to get to know yourself and turn off the negativity. And I've said before, turn on some music. Turn on music that makes you happy. Turn on stuff that makes you want to sing. Be silly. If you can't be silly and dance around and be silly, shut your eyes, shut everything out and do it, That's another thing too. My grandson was such a little dancer when he was younger. He was always dancing. He was always telling like the craziest stories. He was just such a little creative guy. And now he's a teenage boy. And I said, well, you're going to dance with me while you're here. You're going to dance with me. And we get up to dance, and he's like, I don't remember how to dance. And I was like, you just got to get back in touch. We just all get in this thing of feeling judged and feeling looked at and feeling like there's something wrong with us. We got to get back to that kid part of us that was just free, that loved ourselves, that just had fun, that wanted to jump from log to log, climb a tree and look out over the top of the trees. We just have to get back to that excitement, that your true self before there was interference. So, just find yourself in there. You're in there somewhere. You could have buried yourself deep, but you're in there. So, just keep that in mind. You are the one who has to change the things you want changed. Nobody's going to come in and sweep up the mess. And all of the things, no matter if you've done some really, really crappy things to people, just remember there's redemption. You can change. Even if you've been a dick before, you can change. And you can change people's attitudes towards you. And a good place to start is just start doing things nice for people. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go now, and have a great day and work on yourself.